welcome to GDC classes English. So in the today's session we are going to discuss for the Target Pharma 360 MCQ series, and in that we are going to cover the original previous year question from the Tamil Nadu MRB. So in today's session we are going to focus on the Pharmaceutics section and cover all the explanations of the questions. So without being delayed, let's start with our first question for the day. So the first question here is, how many grams of water are needed to make 150 gram of 4% weight by weight solution of potassium acetate? So let's see how many of you are able to solve it. Okay, now we are okay with the settings. Now, moving on. So the first question, based on this, we know that there is total 150 gram of 4%. So it is very simple. You just need to calculate that 4% will be 4 by 100 into your 150. Okay, so 4% of 150 is 4 gram. 4 upon 100 into 150, right? So it will be nothing but 6 grams. So we will have a 6 gram of solute. So we need to subtract this from the total of 150 grams. So we get 150 minus 6 gram. So we get total of 144 grams. So it's a very simple question, right? So we need 4 grams of water to make the 150 gram of 4% weight by weight solution. So the strength of the solution was given, okay? Okay, so option B here is correct. Okay, moving on to the next question. So this is the same explanation I have just given. The recommended container for inhalations and sprays is colorless fluted bottles, amber colored bottles, wide mouth ribbed bottles, and narrow mouth bottles. So based on the specification, it is very much clear that the colorless fluted bottles must be the correct answer. This is from the 2023 question, option number A, right? So this colorless fluted bottles is for the inhalations, sprays, and external liquids. This is very important. Note it down. Amber colored. Amber colored is mainly given for the components which can be degraded by the presence of light, right? So the light sensitive drugs that can be stored in the amber colored bottles. Third, wide mouth ribbed bottles. That is specifically for the ointment, paste, and the semi-solids. Narrow mouth bottles are for the oral liquids and liniments. So please note down that these option colorless fluted bottles would be correct. Okay, next question. As per the Poison Act, so let's not even go to the complete question. Right now, comment down about the Poison Act, the year in which it was approved. Poison Act of which year, right? As per the Poison Act, the license is granted by the central government of India. So the license is mainly granted for the import, and the Poison Act is in the 1919. Okay, please note it down. Option A here is correct. So Poison Act, it was passed in 1919 for the import of poison, right? This is the main important point, that central government that regulates the license for the import of specific poisons into the India. Okay, next question. All India Pharmaceutical Congress Association was started in. It is a direct question, so it was started in the 1940s. It was started in the 1940s. Option A here is going to be the correct answer. Okay. Okay. So next question. Central Register for Pharmacists is maintained by Central Council, Health Ministry, University Grants Commission UGC, or Medical Council of India, right? So Central Register for the Pharmacist is maintained by what? Is maintained by the Central Council. Option A here is correct. Okay. So next question for the day would be the punishment for contravention of Drugs and Magic Remedies Act for the first conviction is. So basically there are two convictions that are considered for the as punishment or as per the rules. The first conviction is mainly for the imprisonment or the fine, or mainly both, that can be decided. Then second conviction will be the fine as well as 1 year imprisonment. So this one is for the first conviction. So the first conviction would be imprisonment up to 6 months or fine or both. And if it is given for the second time, then it would be for 1 complete year. Okay. So for the first condition or for the second one. Okay. Next, Drug Technical Advisory Board gives the number of ex officio. How many ex officio members are there in the DTAB, Drug Technical Advisor Board? Now, even if you don't know it, but after this, the number and the total exact titles of 8 ex officio members must be very on your tips, right? All the nominated, elected and ex officio members you must know for the PCI, state PCI. Then for the DTAB, Drug Technical Advisor Board, also the number of ex officio would be 8. So which ex officio members we have? We have Director General of Health Services Chairman. Second will be the Drug Controller of India, Director of Central Drug Laboratories Kolkata, Director of Central Research Institute Kasauli, Director of Indian Veterinary Research Institute, which is in the Nagar, Director of Central Drug Research Institute Lucknow CDRI, President of Medical Council of India and President Pharmacy Council of India. Everything from these 8 should be on your fingertips. They may ask you which of the following is not the ex officio member, right? Then these are total 5 of the nominated members and then we have 5 of the elected members for the Drug Technically Advised Board, right? Advisory Board. So next question. Any record, register or any other document organized by the drug inspector should be returned to the person from whom they were seized within a period of what? Now this is again a very direct question. So they must be given within a period of 20 days. Noted down, they must be returned in seized with the period of 20 days as per the Drug and Cosmetic Act. Okay. Next question. In a drug store, the expiry dated drug formulations are called as dormant material, surplus items, scrap items or obsolete materials or obsolete items. So in any drug store, basically the expired formulation, they are called as the obsolete items. They are called as option number D is correct, obsolete items, right? So they are listed. We know the misbranded, adulterated, right? They all definitions are known to you, spurious. Now one more we have is the obsolete items, which refer to the drugs that have been already expired and are no longer usable. Okay. Next, bedding capacity of a large hospital. This is a very important question and every time in any government exam this is a must question. So based on the capacity, the hospitals, bed capacity hospitals are entitled to be a large, medium, small sized hospital. So for bedding capacity of a large hospital, it must be around 1000 and above. It must be around 1000 and above. If it is between 500 to 1000, it will be a medium size and it would be lesser, it would be a small size hospital, right? So based on their bedding capacity, they are categorized, right? We have a large hospital for beds of 1000 and above, medium for 500 to 1000, small for 1000 to 500 hospitals, okay? Okay, next. HACI committee has been recommending IV fluids manufacturing in hospitals should be done under the supervision with a person who has dash qualification. So very directly they must be manufactured under the supervision of somebody who has done masters or MPharm, right? So we have MPharm qualification, that is a must. Okay. Okay. Next, following are the objectives of procurement of medicines except following are the objectives of the procurement. So select the reliable suppliers. It is definitely the prime thing because we need to get the details of the supplier, the manufacturing details, what is the exact label about it and what are the quality content they are producing, their back records. We must know the suppliers really well. So we have to select reliable suppliers, ensure timely delivery. This is again in terms of scarcity or availability. We must be knowing that these suppliers will be supplying, especially for the countries which are middle to low income countries. This must be a make thing to be sure of. Okay, achieve the lowest possible total cost. This is again one of the important thing, right? Last one is the maximum stock level. So maximum stock level, this is nothing actually compared to the procurement of medicines. There's always a limited stock or every drugstore person knows that how much stock should be made available for this medicines for the particular location, time, as well as the cost. Okay, so this is not the prime objective, that you need maximum stock level. Okay. Charged and non-charged patient medications come under the dash system. Option A says individual prescription. I'll just be little on side because It's not visible. Individual prescription order system for inpatient, individual prescription order system for outpatient, complete floor stock for inpatient, or complete floor stock system for the outpatient. So the correct answer would be option number C, complete floor system for the inpatient. Okay. Now, the complete floor stock system, under this system, we generally say that the nursing station that carries both charged and non-charged patient medication, right? So, basically, in any order of the availability, the patient is not able to take it. The physician has everything that is available right then, and that can be used for the benefit of the patient. Okay. Next. Which method is used for the preparation of ointment containing solid medicament? Fusion, trituration, chemical reaction, or emulsification. Basically, for the solids, because ultimately you are preparing something that needs to be mixed up, right? You are preparing an ointment. You have ointment base, you have other ingredients, right? So they must be well enough to be mixed. So generally the content, if it is solid, it must be melted down in order to mix with the ointment base. So we generally use the method which is the fusion method, so that the ingredients are melted and then they are mixed with the ointment base to create a firm ointment. Okay. Okay. Next question. During the preparation of parenteral products, all the containers and closures must be cleaned with generally alcohol, acetone, detergent, or ether. Generally with the purified water and the detergent, all the materials, all the container must be cleaned in order to maintain the sterility and prevent any contamination as best as possible. So they must be cleaned with the detergents as well as with the purified water. Okay. Followed by they must be sterilized as well, and then the alcohol treatment is generally given. Geometric dilution is used for. So this is again very important question based on trituration. They ask you geometric dilution, they ask you order of mixing, they can ask you, right? So geometric dilution is basically for the potent drug, right? Everybody must ensure that they know this geometric dilution method is mainly for the potent drugs. Okay. Option A here is going to be the correct answer. Okay. Next. Suppositories are most frequently prepared by the method on a small scale and on industrial scale. Now, all the methods you can see, compression, molding from melt, hand rolling, shaping and rolling, generally we can consider that all the methods are for the preparation of the suppositories, but the most common method that is used, that is going to be the molding from the melt. That is going to be molding from the melt. Option number B. Okay, compression and hand rolling method, they are again also used. Okay, next. Direction to the pharmacist for preparing the prescription is given in the inscription, subscription, superscription and signature. This at least every pharmacist student must know. Every pharmacist student must know the parts of prescription very, very clearly, right? So I want you all to comment down the answers below and I will personally check them all. At least these 4 things must be very, very, very clear to you. So the direction to the pharmacist is given in the superscription. Okay. So these are the parts of prescription. We have superscription, in which the symbol RX is given for the healing of the patient, right? So this is like Latin term which takes you take or take thou for the sign of the Jupiter, and mainly for the god of healing for the patient. Okay. Then we have inscription. Inscription is the main part of the prescription, which includes the name, quantities of the prescribed medicaments, right? Subscription, which is the direction to the pharmacist, very important, in which basically they are giving the direction to the pharmacist about the dosage and how they are going to administer it. Okay. And signature, which is the direction to the patient, which is mainly given as a label, right? And it must be given in English terms. Okay. That is very well understood by the patient. Okay. Next, the Latin term pulvis conspiratus refers to poultice, powder, ointment or dusting powder. Latin terms, very, very important. So this actually means the dusting powder. Dusting powder. Option number D here is correct, right? So these are some other important terms as well. Cataplasma, which was the option that was given in poultice. Charta, that is a powder. Ungutamentum, which is an ointment. Pulvis, that is a dusting, and conspiratus, that is a powder. Okay. Next, Dalton's law may be mathematically expressed. So Dalton law of vapor pressure, they generally say the vapor pressure of individual gases that will be combined to calculate the total pressure, right? So the total pressure that will be a PA up plus PB, right? So that can be counted by adding up the partial pressures of the individual gases. Okay. Next, a liquid is distilled at a temperature lower than its boiling point by the application of vacuum. This is an extractive distillation, distillation under reduced pressure, molecular distillation or steam distillation. Now all the engineering experts, please just answer this very quickly. So it will be distillation under reduced pressure. Okay, again I'm telling you, from the distillation part they usually ask you at least one question. Okay, so prepare well from this topic as well. Okay, next, the coating applied to small particles of solids, droplets of liquids or dispersion, this is known as film coating, microencapsulation, polishing or enteric coating, right? So they are asking thin coating applied to small particles of solid droplets of liquid or dispersion. So microencapsulation, basically we have a core and then we have a coating material over it. So this definition just fits right with the microencapsulation. Okay. Next, most commonly used base for chewable tablets. Very commonly asked question. Glucose, no. Lactose, sucrose, no. Mannitol is mainly used for the base as a chewable tablet. Okay, this is very clear to all. Diluents must be very clear. Star, RX 1500, glidants, binding agents, everything must be very well taken in account with their limits. Continuous hot extraction should be avoided when the constituents of the drug are porous, fragile, thermolabile or heat resistant. Now continuous hot extraction means continuous supply of heat. That means for the material which are very much thermolabile or heat sensitive material, not heat resistant, heat sensitive material, they must be very well taken care of while you are doing such things, because this can harm or degrade the active constituent. Okay. So it must be heat sensitive material. Film evaporator will yield only solid product, dry product, gritty products or liquid products. So film evaporator usually yields up the liquid products. It gives up the liquid product. Okay. Next. Talc, Kieselguhr and Fuller. These are all the example of filtrate, diluent, glidant, lubricants. So these talc, Kieselguhr, Fuller. Now everybody knows these are an example of the filtrates. Very important. Very important. These are the example of the filter aids. Okay. Okay. Option A here is correct. Okay. Next. Contamination of the milled parts is very low or negligible in, right, ball mill, hammer mill, fluid energy mill or disintegrator. So contamination is negligible in the case of what? So it will be negligible in the case of the fluid energy mill, because of the design of the mill, fluid energy mill, we can say in that the contamination chances are very less. Okay, it basically works on the principle of impact and attrition. Okay, generally creates very fine powder. White petrolatum is also known as. So everybody, you must answer this. White petrolatum, this is nothing but our petroleum jelly. White petrolatum is nothing but our petroleum jelly. Okay, option D here is correct. So white petrolatum is also known as the petroleum jelly. So this is all about the previous year questions. I hope you are able to score very well. You should comment down your scores in the end of this video. I will check them always, and any suggestions, any feedbacks, we are open to it. We are open to listening to you all. You must comment down and we are waiting for it. Thank you so much. We will meet in the next video.